Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I am B. Heavy energies this morning, and I'm picking up a lot of collective angst. I'm certainly been in some dark energies as I'm processing through what I'm picking up on, not only my own conscious awareness, but also the collective energies. And there's a lot going on in regards to the divine feminine and the divine masculine interactions. And I don't mean interactions on the 3D, although that plays into it. I'm talking energetically. So I've done a few videos in the past about divine feminine energies and the desexualization of the divine feminine. And before I get too far into this, I'm still trying to kind of piece everything together. So I'm kind of forewarning you that today's video might go a little bit like this as I'm channeling through the messages that are trying to make their way through. So we're going to learn together a little bit. First, let's just do the understanding that we all have divine feminine and masculine energies within us. One of those energies tends to be more predominant than the other. And it doesn't matter what sex you are, because, at different times in our lives, we use different energies. But when it comes to the twin flame journey, some will resonate more with the divine feminine energy, and others will resonate more with divine masculine energy. And when I say divine, I should preface that with the fact that although, yes, we are all divine beings of light, we have not always lived our life in divinity, in that knowledge, because, well, we didn't know. So both feminine and masculine have lived their lives in a lot of toxic traits. I certainly have. And I am observing right now in great detail the depths of toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is a hot topic and has been for a good number of years, because as we go through our awakening, especially from the perspective of the divine feminine, and our third eyes begin to open wider and wider and wider, we see. And when we start to see what's really at play, it's repulsive. It really is repulsive. And so you, like me, might have observed an entire pattern of many, many women stepping up out of toxic relationships and saying, yeah, that's gross. I'm out. That's a hard no for me, and gone very far into the opposing camp of, I don't want to date anyone. I'm looking around at what's available, and no. And that is because, first of all, the divine feminine energy leads. So she's risen herself up out of a lot of toxic behaviors. And for the divine feminine, that might look like negating self, minimizing self, people pleasing, going through, the energies of self-sacrifice and martyrdom, of, I'm going to do everything for everyone and put myself last, and, I'll just take what I can get, and I'm going to kowtow to the energies of the masculine, and I'm going to do whatever I can do to first draw them in, using my own sexuality as a lure to get into that vixen archetype or the femme fatale. And this, in its extreme, in the toxic femininity, can be highly manipulative and destructive. So in my conversation today, I'm not going to be bashing any one particular side. It's not about a war of men versus women, although we need to look at this stuff and address this stuff so that we can heal it and repair the dynamic of feminine and masculine energies and how they've been playing out really for thousands of years. The masculine, in its toxicity, has been overbearing, controlling, demanding, lying, cheating. And I'm not saying that feminines don't cheat. They do it in a different way. They're a lot more calculated, perhaps, in the manipulations of presenting. Well, both present a false mask. Both can present the good girl or the good boy, and behind the good girl or good boy is a highly manipulative individual with narcissistic traits. So narcissism doesn't just pick men or women. Either can be, and I've experienced both. My mother was highly narcissistic, so I'm very familiar with how female narcissism presents, which can look very different to how masculine narcissism can present. And the whole thing on both is this, a lot of people are completely blind to it, because the persona that is presented initially, this great person, this charming individual, it is so believable, and that's the hook. That's the hook that lures an individual in, and then they're enmeshed within something that chips away at them bit by bit. So both men and women have been victimized by narcissistic energies that using the lure of love and relationship and sexuality as a means to create a partnership based on falsity. And this dynamic is, you can see, totally skewed because divine feminine energy, or feminine energy repressed, it is put down, and masculine energy built up, taken the power, this power dynamic is built above. So there's this energetic dynamic that goes like this, as opposed to, in balance and in harmony. Now, a couple of years back, Spirit showed me some stuff that was pretty gross in one of my visions, and then nudged me to go and watch Ancient Civilizations on the channel Gaia. If you don't have Gaia, there are some really incredible shows on there. You may not, it's an expensive membership, but it might be worth it to have just for a year or something. And I watched a good few things on that to obtain some information. And there was, on this series, Ancient Civilizations, they were talking a lot and going back 30,000 years ago, long before, predating Christianity or any roots of the Bible predating. There were the stories of, and these can be located in the Middle East, in Sumerian times. And they talk of the story of the Tree of Knowledge and, the original stories of Adam and Eve. And they're very different than the stories that you'll read in the Bible. And I found it fascinating because the divine feminine is interpreted to be, have done something wrong and put down, and she was so naughty. She ate from the tree of knowledge, and she shouldn't have done that, and it's all her fault. And let's shame her and blame her, it's all, and then because of what she's done, they're thrown out of the garden, and that's the interpretation that the roots of Christianity and what I was, culturally familiar with. But the truth of the story is, which predates that, is that it's through the divine feminine that one connects to the divine. The divine feminine has that connection, and when we when they, and it was systematic, rewrote the story, it was about taking the power away that the divine feminine held, and what the masculine didn't realize is he'd been fooled. He'd been fooled severely because he was then told that he had the power, when she always had the power, and it was through her that he became truly powerful. So it comes into play the whole question of divide and conquer. If you divide the feminine and the masculine energies and give the masculine a false sense of power, and tell the masculine that this feminine energy, it needs to be repressed, it needs to be put down, it needs to be that it creates a dynamic of division that ultimately separates both from divinity. And the only way to get back to divinity, sorry, I should have my hands like this. The only way to get back into divinity, because, the masculine energy repressing, the feminine energy repressed. And so there's a disconnect. As I said, we're like this energetically. We're not like this. And then the powers that be are wanting you to be in a state of disconnection. And the more there is disconnection, the less there is the power to plug into the divine. But when we bring the masculine energy down and bring the feminine energy up, so the rise of the divine feminine and the falling of the false masculine power, so the masculines need to kind of be pulled down a notch or two and realize, hey, wait a second, you're not all that in a bag of chips. You have to be in balance harmoniously with the divine feminine for there to be a connection. And once that connection is made, a sacred connection, in balance and harmony, what you create is a triangle. So that feminine, because her powers of sight and her connection to the divine is really what connects the masculine to the divine. So the masculine needs to go through the feminine energy. It needs to be a closed circuit. So if the circuit is like this, you don't have a closed circuit, and neither has power. But if you close the circuit, and the masculine and the feminine, which can be depicted as Metatron's cube, which is the upside down pyramid and the top pyramid coming together and intersecting, which is used in a two-dimensional view as the Star of David. The Star of David is only a two-dimensional view of what is a three-dimensional energy, which is, Metatron's cube. Masculine energy, feminine energy coming together to create this three-dimensional energetic vehicle of sorts that brings the two energies together. So I kind of look at it like, if you have a TV, that's great, you have a TV. And then you have a plug, which is, your energetic source, divine source. You need a cord, and you need that cord to have like that DC box. Well, that's the feminine. So for the TV to work to its full capacity, sure, you have a TV and there it is. It can sit there and take up space and, you know, there, yeah, good, there's a TV. But for it to actually function, it needs to plug in to the feminine energy, which then plugs in to the energetic source, and that be spirit. So this triangle is the balancing of the masculine, the feminine, combined into spirit. And so when historically they took the feminine and repressed her, pushed her down, and, you know, told a bunch of lies, and, you know, made her out to be the prostitute. You know, Mary Magdalene fell from grace, and you know, that's not the truth of the story. If you want to go and do a little bit of research there, you know, she was Jesus's wife. There was a closed circuit there. And so, or Yeshua's wife. So closed circuit connection to God. He knew through women, through the woman, through honoring the woman, he became much more powerful. He wouldn't be as known today if it wasn't for her. But that's not the story that is told and represented. A lot of the stories in spiritual camps, and it doesn't matter which one, have been slightly distorted. And well, why would they do that? Well, of course, because they want to keep the power, divide and conquer. So we as humanity have been divided and conquered over and over and over again. Not only the division of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, creating this false dynamic of power, you know, this patriarchal system which represses the woman, and it's vile what has been done to the divine feminine through the ages. You know, just look back and listen. We all carry this imprint, because it's not just this lifetime, it's thousands of years, it's multiple lifetimes, where in our soul's essence we carry the imprint of that woman, whether you're a man or a female, of that woman being violated, of that woman being repressed, of that woman being treated like chattel, sold for marriage, you know, basically treated like property. We have the memory of all of the witch burnings that occurred, and many other devastations through the ages worldwide. The violations that have been done to the divine feminine are atrocious. It's repulsive, it's disgusting, and it's become so commonplace, so excused, because there's certain structures and systems that prop it up, that are fed to the division of boys and girls from the time that we're children. We pull the masculine out of their feminine energy by telling them lies like boys don't cry, and it's okay, boys will be boys, and, you know, sure, you punch that girl on the playground, that's okay. And then they go through life, and there's the locker room chat, and the back room discussions, and the men's clubs, and the laughter at the degradation of women, and it's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. When that third eye gets, you know, cleaned, and the rose-colored glasses, I find it interesting that they're even called rose-colored glasses, because, you know, the rose is the symbol of the divine feminine. And so to survive through the ages, she had to become manipulative. She had to become you know, oriented on, well, I need to plug into whoever I can plug in so that I can be safe and I can keep my children safe, which was never her job. her job was to nurture and love. But because this toxic paradigm has been at play for so long, society as a whole shrugs its shoulders to it and tolerates it and props it up in so many ways. Victims being shamed or blamed for how do they dressed or what they did, not feeling safe to be even able to go out to a nightclub. Now, I've made no secret that I've been raped multiple times in my life, and I'm not going to take the ownership or the blame or the shame of that. I should be able to go to a nightclub without having my drink roofied. I should be able to go to a local park. When I was 14 years of age, in the middle of the day, was jumped and attacked by two schoolboys that I went to school with. I didn't ask for it. I wasn't wearing any clothing. I was wearing a swimsuit with a t-shirt on top because I was supposed to be going to a friend's house who was having a pool party. I never made it there. I should have been able to walk home at age 16 in my neighborhood without being lured in by a neighbor and plied with alcohol and raped. So I'm not going to take ownership of what has happened to me, the violations that have happened to me. And the sad truth is most women that I know have stories. Most. Throughout my ages, and I've met thousands of people because I've lived in many different places, and I've lived all over the world, and this tolerated and propped up and system is so dysfunctional that not only are women suffering, but ultimately men are too. They just don't realize it because they've been fooled into thinking they have some sort of power when really they don't. They don't. Yes, they can take power violently, and they can take power by being charming and alluring to somebody, but ultimately that's not true power. That's not divine power. When plugged into divine power, the powers of manifestation are huge. So they didn't want masculines to plug into divine love, to divine power, because that would have made them even more powerful. So it's such a warped system where people think and everybody's playing these roles and playing these paradigms and staying in dysfunctional marriages and relationships and propping up the victim shaming and victim blaming, and even our legal system is all warped. It's everything is warped. The way that we view feminines, the way that feminines think that they have to show up in the world to be loved or valued, and that they can't be themselves, that they can't even show their own faces because they've been indoctrinated to believe from the time of childhood that there's something wrong with their faces if they don't have makeup and hair dye and their boobs up to here. Listen, I own it. I thought the same. I was like, I have to attract myself a man, and and that's going to get me what I want. That's going to get me love. When that doesn't get you love, it gets you used and abused, and men who then, look at these women and think, oh yeah, this is, how many of these can I get? How many of these can I knock off my bedpost, notches in the bedpost? So I did some writing over on Facebook yesterday because the energy that I'm feeling is like utter disgust and a good bit of sacred rage, a good bit of sacred hatred. And it's not hatred to men in general because, they've been fooled as in this paradigm as much as the feminine has, but it's discussed at the entire way society views sex, the entire way society props up this hookup culture, which is defiling both feminines and masculines. This way that society props up, using and abusing people, and then the legal system on both ends of it prop up division, and both is hurt in the system. Like if you bring something to court, the victim of abuses, what she has to go through is so re-traumatizing that the majority of people don't, and that's been proven time and time again, and only now we're starting to see the rumblings of people blowing whistles on disgusting networks that infiltrate every single community around the world, because it's there in plain sight. It's happening every day in every bar, in every place, this complete distortion of anything that is beautiful and true and loving and kind, and then you get into these dysfunctional relationships with people, and then you try to get out of them, and the legal system fucks you even more, because anybody that's gone through a divorce or gone through a separation knows the legal system isn't trying to make a quick solution. They're trying to take as much money from you as you can, so disempower you even more. I don't generally like to go down the everyone's trying to screw us route, but come on, we gotta take the rose-colored glasses off, the bullshit-colored glasses off, the everything, and in this awakening we do, and start seeing things for what they truly are, and owning it, owning both parties' parts in it. But I had to sit in the gross of looking at my own life and all the things I tried to do to obtain love. And where did that get me? It got me loving me. It got me to a place where I'm so disgusted by the nature of relationship that, ew, I just don't want it. It broke me. My experiences and through my awakening have broken me to have zero interest in it, and that's sad. So my disgust comes with some grieving involved of just how sad it is, because it doesn't need to be like that. It could be divine, it could be magical, and listen, I know there's some out there that have managed to find that, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. But I see, and with my community, I see more than not people suffering. People come to me because they're trapped in these dysfunctional relationships where they believed, they deluded themselves to believe that that's what love was. And it's not. It's not what love is. It's certainly not anything to do with divinity. And when you sit in the muck, and unfuck and review, what has happened to you, what you yourself have participated in. And I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that I've been a victim. I've also been a perpetrator. In my young 20s, I was an adulterer. I cheated on my first husband. And, that was a gross thing for me to do. So I can sit and look at my own gross. I can sit and look at my own, participation in it. And it's through sitting in it and saying, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to buy into a system that's set up to disempower me. I'm going to pull myself away from that. And even if that means being alone with my cat and being a crazy cat lady, so be it. I'd rather be a crazy cat lady than participate in this ranging from, you know, mild ick to like violent, horrific things. You know, the spectrum of toxicity that is alive and well and present in everyday interactions, ranging from advertising to dating rituals and hookup culture and archetypal energies of the player and the playboy and the golden charming child, and on the other side the vixen, the manipulative, you know, the black widow. There's all this ick, and then there's all this shame that's pushed down, repressed, and pushed on to the wrong person, because there's all these energetic connections that we're dealing with. And so when you start to wake up to the reality that all is connected, and you start to see that, like, when certain people do certain things, and especially if you have a divine connection with this twin flame journey, that's whatever, there's like a backflow of energy transference that's always occurring with people, and the more we're plugging into the wrong people, and the more we're propping up this system that is doomed to fail and keep you out of the light, keep you disempowered. It's sad. It's sad. It's gross. I pray a lot as of late that the truth is really exposed, so that everybody can see it the way I see it now. And I don't, you know, the truth is gross. The truth is icky. But it's only when we see the truth that we can actually do something about it. We can actually change it. You know, we're sliding out of this old paradigm, where this, you know, pyramid structure is the representation, where there's you know, somebody at the top, and that somebody has been you know, the masculine has claimed it in its toxicity of being at the top, and the divine feminine at the bottom. And we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and you know, all the talk is about building anew. Well, to build anew, for us to truly build anew, of everything new, like new political structures, new monetary structures, new education systems, because those aren't working either, new legal systems, new community systems, new family structures. Like, to build anew, what needs to happen is we need to put the divine back on the top, and masculine needs to walk down and be in harmony with the feminine, listening to the feminine. The feminine knows stuff that you don't know. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. I didn't make it like this. It is the way that it is. Eve climbed the tree of knowledge, because the tree of knowledge is not some tree that she sat underneath. It's the chakra system that the energy of the kundalini, it opens in her, and it travels through her, clearing out all of these energetic systems, opening her. So you can't get to the divine without her. You cannot. There needs to be a balancing of the energies, and so the feminine needs to rise herself out of the depths of the darkness that she's been placed, the devaluation, the defilement, the wash her face. Sorry if you still wear makeup, but our beauty is not anything that needs to be painted on. You are beautiful, exactly as you are. You are so beautiful. I wish women could see themselves through my eyes, because when I see a woman in her nakedness, in her truth, in her authenticity, I see such beauty, like so much beauty. I just want to wash the faces off of some people, and I know that's going to ruffle some feathers, but I don't care, because I don't want to participate in a system that says that a woman isn't beautiful just as she is. The way she wakes up in the morning with her eyes puffy from, and maybe some discoloration in her skin and gray hairs and, God highlights, I like to call them. Her body in its natural state of being with a little bit of cellulite. And women are beautiful. Women are beautiful just as they are. They don't need anything. They don't need anything to make them beautiful. It saddens me because it shoves them into shadow when we sexualize ourselves and sell ourselves less than we deserve, because we are worthy. And sorry, I don't know where this is coming from, but I just had so much compassion for all the feminines out there that have been made to feel less than, made to feel shameful for things that they didn't do and didn't attract, and made to feel not good enough. You're so much better than good enough. You're all so much better than good enough. You are divine. You are the connection to the divine, and you should be honored. And men should honor you. And if they don't, please walk away. It doesn't serve anyone for you to tolerate, or for you to feel that you need to mother or educate or anything else for the masculines, and wherever they are in their own journey. Please stop talking. Stop talking like you think you know what it is to be a feminine, because you don't. You don't know what it's like to go somewhere and fear that your drink is going to be roofied, or that you're going to be jumped as you walk to your car. You don't know what it's like to feel fear in your home that you're not going to be able to provide for your children, or that somebody might overpower you or hit you. So please, be quiet. Be quiet and go do your men's work. There's lots of available teachers that are propping up, coming, to light. Men teachers, teaching men what it is to be masculine, teaching you what it is to feel again, so that maybe you can have a little bit of empathy and compassion for the feminine and what she's endured and survived. Your job as a masculine, if there's any watching me, is to protect. Your job is to stand in truth and integrity, and connect to your own divinity. So today, I guess I'd like to challenge the masculines to go on their own spirit quest. To stop talking and mansplaining and trying to control and dominate, and go off on your own and sit in your own energy for a while and contemplate your own contribution to this dynamic, and take a long, hard, honest look at what you've done or what you've observed others do and stayed silent, or what you've not done that could have done in different situations. Because only when the masculines come down to earth again and start to see themselves as part of this living system, not above it, not above women, not above animals, not above the earth. Come down and meet us at a place where we can find common ground again. Come out of the division that has created not only our disempowerment, but your own, because it's an illusion. It's an illusion that there's power up there. Where the power is down here, in common ground, connected energetically to your sisters, to your wives, to your children, and creating a place where that feminine can be protected. That's what the new earth needs to be. A place where we're all down here on earth protecting the feminine energies so that she can connect to the divine, to the divinity. So that's my message today. And I'm going to sit in my own energy and allow myself to feel what I'm feeling. And I don't need anybody to explain to me what I'm feeling. And I don't need anybody to tell me I should raise my vibe. My vibe is perfectly fine as I process through grieving. Grieving the loss of divinity for all of humanity. I'm not grieving for me. I'm grieving for everyone. For absolutely everyone, the entire planet, for all the women and all the men that have been divided and conquered and used. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. With that all said, if you are struggling with escaping from narcissistic energies, whether you're masculine or feminine or female or male, and you need some help and tools and tricks to help you see what really is, if you are trying to transmute through some of your own pain and shame and reliving memory of your own experiences and struggling, please do not suffer in silence. Feel free to book a one-on-one with me, and we can talk through some of the grosser stuff, some of the stuff that you may not have wanted to open up to others about. I can hold space for you in a confidential setting and be safe to help you transmute through some of the gross that's either happened to you or the gross that you've done. And let's work towards purifying ourselves, all of us, again. I thank you very much for all of the likes, the shares, the subscriptions. I'm sending you all so much love, so much compassion, and so much understanding. Peace in.